Remember the smooth-talking psychiatrist who made us laugh for 2 decades? Kelsey Grammer seemed to have it all: fame, fortune, and America's love. But behind that charming smile lies a story so heartbreaking it's almost impossible to believe one person could endure it. From brutal murders to devastating losses. The man who played Dr. Fraser Crane has lived through more tragedy than most people could survive. What's happening to him now at 70 will leave you speechless. Kelsey Grammer was born on February 21, 1955. In St. Thomas, U.S. Virgin Islands, destined to become one of television's most beloved actors. But long before he became the pompous yet lovable Dr. Fraser Crane, his life was marked by unimaginable tragedy that would have destroyed most people. When Grammer was just 13 years old in 1968, his father was fatally shot at his home on St. Thomas during racial violence, following the assassination of Martin Luther King Jr., a child barely old enough to understand death had to process the brutal murder of his father. But the nightmare had only just begun. In 1975, when Grammer was 20 and studying at Juilliard, his 18-year-old sister Karen was brutally raped and murdered in Colorado. She was working as a waitress at a Red Lobster when a group of men kidnapped her. They tortured her, raped her, punched her repeatedly, and stabbed her 42 times, nearly decapitating her. Despite her horrific wounds, Karen somehow managed to crawl 400 feet to a nearby trailer to ask for help, leaving bloody fingerprints along her path. The person inside called the police but never opened the door. She died on the front stoop alone. The image of his sister dying while begging for help that never came has haunted Grammer for nearly 50 years. Then, in 1980, Grammer's 2 teenage half-brothers died in a scuba diving accident. By the age of 25, Kelsey Grammer had lost his grandfather to cancer, his father to murder, his beloved sister to an unspeakably brutal crime, and his 2 half-brothers to a tragic accident. Most people would have crumbled under the weight of such devastating loss. Instead, Grammer threw himself into his craft, eventually landing the role that would define his career on Cheers in 1984. But trauma doesn't just disappear because you're on television. When he was at the height of his fame during the peak of Cheers and Frasier, Grammer was frequently beset by substance abuse issues. Arrested multiple times for cocaine possession and drunk driving. He's been sober since 1996, but the path to recovery was long and painful. His personal struggles nearly destroyed the career that had given him purpose after so much loss. Now, at 70 years old, Kelsey Grammer is finally confronting the demons that have haunted him for decades. In 2025, he published a book titled Karen, A Brother Remembers, where he opens up about his sister's life, her murder, and how it shaped everything that came after. In interviews promoting the book, Grammer has broken down in tears discussing Karen, finally allowing himself to grieve publicly after decades of pushing the pain aside. He's described wanting to reacquaint himself with all the beauty and love they shared as siblings, honoring her memory by speaking her name and ensuring she's never forgotten, despite everything. Grammer continues working. He reprised his iconic role as Fraser Crane in the 2023 Paramount Plus revival and will appear as Beast in the upcoming Marvel film Avengers. Doomsday in 2026. He's been married to his 4th wife, Kate Walsh, since 2011, and in June 2025, it was revealed that Walsh is expecting their 4th child together, which will be Grammer's 8th child overall. His net worth is estimated at around $80 million, proving that, despite the tragedies, he's built an extraordinary career, but success and wealth can't erase the scars of losing so many loved ones so violently and so young. Kelsey Grammer's story isn't sad because of how he lives now. It's heartbreaking because of what he's had to survive to get here. The man who made us laugh for decades has carried unimaginable pain behind that smile, proving that sometimes the funniest people are fighting the darkest battles. At 70, he's still here, still working, still trying to honor those he lost by living fully. That's not sad. That's surviving against impossible odds.